We have the 880 Tag Team Championships on the line, and in our main event of the evening, Casey Ward defends the Hardcore Championship against some guy named John. But right now, let's get ready for some buy-in action. This first contest is a fatal four-way scheduled for one fall. Introducing first. Accompanied to the ring by his intern. This is the Alpha Ally of Appalachia, the Monarch, Clayton King.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 880 Wrestling Misconnections 4 Buy-In. I'm Eamon Payton alongside professional Paul Michaels. And Paul, what a stacked card we have tonight for this 4th annual edition of Misconnections.
That's right, Eamon. We're a little over 30 minutes away from our Misconnections 4 event, available on IndyWrestling.us or for ringside members of our YouTube channel. But we've got buy-in action all the way to the top of the hour, and starting off with a former 880 Tag Team Champion, the Monarch Clayton King, accompanied by his intern.
Opponent.
I believe Mitch is his name?
I think I've heard that. I've never been formally introduced to that man.
I've tried to avoid him as much as possible. I mean, an internship in general is hard, but with Clayton King, I can't imagine it's easy. But fatal four-way action to kick off the buy-in here, and this is going to be quite the array of competitors.
From Colchester, Connecticut.
I am an international superstar. Use your ball. Right now.
The self-proclaimed international superstar, the Dream, Aaron Daniel Norman.
We have Clayton King already in the ring. Aaron Daniel Norman, the Dream, adding to the fray. And you see Saturn Price as well there at ringside. Norman, a close confidant of the Dead Hand Society.
And their next opponent.
Saturn Price also outside the ring supporting Aaron Daniel Norman, and of course will be in action later tonight against Brandon St. James on our Misconnections 4 card.
A lot of bad blood going into that one. It is sure to be intense. Speaking of intense.
From Columbus, Ohio. Self-proclaimed boogeyman. This is Theo Strong.
Paul, can you think of another competitor that has made such an impact in such a short period of time, especially on our weekly Thursday night fights, as Theo Strong?
I certainly can't. Theo has become a staple of 880 Wrestling very quickly.
All the way from Columbus, Ohio. He's made quite the impression. Looks to pick up a win on a big stage here at Misconnections 4. As we round out with this final competitor, a unique individual to say the least. I'm sure he's going to be a big fan of our sponsor for this evening, Arnold Glass and Vape, over in New Kensington. Please stop by. I'm sure Christian Robinson will.
If you don't know this song, you stop. Keep smoking, keep drinking. You just might like it. Come for it.
He is the Steph Curry of 880 Wrestling. The real skater boy of this shit. From all the way back from Misconnections #1, this is Christian Robinson.
An absolute athletic specimen unlike I've ever seen, Paul. Christian Robinson can do some phenomenal things in that ring.
You heard Toddy say it all the way back at the original Misconnections event back in 2023, had a matchup against Brandon St. James. Now joining us for the buy-in of Misconnections 4. It's been great to have Christian Robinson around for so many years here in 880 Wrestling, and hopefully many in the future.
Undoubtedly, and Christian's become such a regular in recent months here, especially in this new era of 880 Wrestling here at the Warehouse in Allentown. Speaking of the Warehouse, folks are filing into the building to get ready for the main card for Misconnections 4. If you are an attendee, you want to get here early because this might be the most stacked pre-show buy-in that we have had so far here at 880 Wrestling. As we have the bell and sounded and we are underway. Who is your favorite in this one, Paul? There's a lot of different styles in this matchup.
I think if you were looking at pure athleticism, pure skill in the ring, Christian Robinson is somebody that I would have to give the edge to, though there is one wild card circling around the ring, and that is that intern. I believe his name is Mitch, as you alluded to, and it'll be interesting to see if the numbers game comes into play here, and if Clayton King is able to kind of use that ace up his sleeve in that intern.
I got to imagine Clayton King, as well as all of Leaders by Example, you always have to keep an eye out for tactics like that. Speaking of Leaders by Example, as Toddy mentioned, our main event for this evening on the main card, the Hardcore Championship on the line. KC War, the new Hardcore Champion as of last event in January, defends against some guy named John, who has been really just asking for it when it comes to KC War. Big arm drag there by Christian Robinson. As Theo Strong follows with another. And Clayton going to come in. Oh, both having the same idea in mind there. This is going to be a bit of a stalemate, I got to imagine, in the early goings of this contest.
A lot of strategy into a four-way matchup like this, Eamon. You need to be very selective, I think, of when you get involved. You want to come in. You certainly want to, pick your right spot, but at the same time, know when to kind of lay back. Let your opponents beat each other up, and kind of minimize how much punishment you take yourself.
Ooh, there's a strength there from Aaron Daniel Norman. Kind of a inadvertent team there of King and Strong, but Christian Robinson taking advantage. Double drop kick. Also wrestling no shoes here, as typical with Christian Robinson. Look at that athleticism. Nice duck over there by Robinson. In there with Aaron Daniel Norman. Very strong, very hefty competitor, but also can move, as we see there. Oh, but catching Christian now. Christian trying to fight free. Rolls through. Cover. Only two. But Christian incredibly quick in that ring, as we have seen. But Aaron, taking advantage of that weight advantage. Cover now. Only two again. Series of near falls. And again, this match, one fall to a finish. Oh, and Theo Strong rocking Christian Robinson's jaw there.
And certainly good on Theo Strong for kind of getting into the ring here and getting into the decision. You just had so many near falls there in the first couple minutes. You can lose this match on the outside without being directly part of the decision.
Oh! German suplex followed with a forearm right to the jaw of Aaron Daniel Norman. Theo Strong, a house of fire right now. Big drop kick. Theo, I think back to, wow, power slam there, and Clayton able to break it up. The unbridled strength of Theo Strong there. We saw Theo recently on Thursday Night Fights have an amazing performance against MV Young that you can go check out, IndyWrestling.us and on YouTube in the archives. Is Mitch now getting involved?
There's that wild card, Eamon.
You mentioned it, and Clayton using his intern to his full advantage. Like I said, IndyWrestling.network. You can get tons of 880 Wrestling content, including our weekly Thursday Night Fights events where, like I said, you saw Theo Strong battle MV Young. Tonight we will see MV Young go head-to-head with Blizzy Blake. That could be a damn show stealer.
Absolutely, and that will be available on the Misconnections 4 event beginning at 8 p.m. on IndyWrestling.live or for ringside members of our YouTube channel. Eamon, did you know that new members to IndyWrestling.live get a 7-day free trial?
Absolutely. You got to get on that, folks, because you're not going to want to miss a second of the action for Misconnections. Take advantage of that free trial if you haven't already. Now, Robinson and Norman now back in the ring. Norman taking advantage, working down on the arm. Very methodical competitor. And a a very stalwart member of the Dead Hand Society. Norman recently returning from injury, and in the last month has been vital to Nick's Wild's success here as part of the DHS.
And will that success of Nick's Wild continue tonight as Nick's Wild defends the 880 championship against a very game Liberty L?
That is sure to be Nick's Wild's toughest test yet as 880 Wrestling champion, former TNF champion who has been on an absolute roll. Look at this double maneuver here by Norman. Cover! Clayton King able to kick out, but look at the wrenching that Norman did on the knee of Christian Robinson there. And now Theo Strong comes in. Big spine buster! That's right! All that power advantage, Paul, that Norman might have had anytime he's been in that ring with Theo Strong, it really goes out the window.
Yeah, Theo Strong certainly living up to his name, and you just mentioned so many impressive outings on Thursday nights here at the warehouse for Theo Strong. Has yet, I believe, to get in the win column officially in 880 Wrestling, but you can impress people sometimes regardless of what the final result is, and that's what we've been seeing here.
Very fair point. Strong looking to go up, possibly top turnbuckle here. Ooh. Clayton King seeing an advantage here, cutting Strong off at the pass. I also will note Clayton without that face guard that we saw on Thursday night fights after the those vicious knees that were dealt to him by Casey Ward. Now Norman now coming in from behind. And wait, I think Clayton, though, still with a hold of Theo Strong. This could be bad, Paul. 2 for the price of 1 there with Aaron Daniel Norman. You can tell Theo Strong feeling it right now.
I think that took a little bit out of Norman as well, despite the fact that he was technically on offense there. All 4 competitors down. Crowd at the warehouse getting into it here. Whomever gets to their feet first will kind of get a jump start advantage and maybe putting this match away, Eamon.
Absolutely. This match had a bit of a stalemate here. Referee J.D. River putting in the count. Mitch trying to revive something into Clayton King. This is the type of action that will be even more violent, even more intense than we are already seeing, which is saying something. On the main card for Missed Connections, top of the hour, 8 p.m. But like you said, a big opportunity here on the buy-in for these 4. It can make a future opportunity for a main card spot that much more possible. As now King and Strong seemingly to get the advantage here on the striking exchange. Now going to come charging. Oh! Series of roundhouse kicks by Robinson and by Norman. You know, Robinson going to duck through. Waistlock. Question is Robinson maybe thinking a little too bravely here, trying to muscle over someone like Norman? Normally able to take advantage, get into the turnbuckle to try to get a break, but Robinson's not going to give him one. Out onto the apron. Rocking Aaron Daniel Norman there. Keep an eye, though, on Christian Robinson. As I just spoken, Aaron Daniel Norman did just that, but what could he be thinking here, Paul? Oh!
Double stomp to the back. Look out, here's Clayton.
Going to pick the bones here. Irish whipping Norman off the ropes. Clayton catches. Ooh! That version of the side effect he calls the drug-free drop. And now Theo Strong in. What a lariat there, taking Clayton King's head off. Now, maybe looking to finish off Clayton. Big brain buster, this could be it. Oh, Clayton, though, not going to allow Theo Strong to capitalize, rolling to the outside. Waistlock. Theo Strong trying to fight here from Christian Robinson. Oh! What athleticism there by Robinson, running up the chest of Theo Strong, and now up onto the shoulders. Oh, knee right to the jaw. But I don't know if it was a smart move or not for Christian to go for the cover. Maybe not, because Aaron Daniel Norman right in from behind. Oh my God, full Nelson suplex, but Christian's still up.
Yeah, cover might have ended this thing, Eamon, but instead now we've got ADN and Christian Robinson here kind of in a little bit of a mini one-on-one encounter.
Big clothesline. And those are some meaty clotheslines from Aaron Daniel Norman. Now going to butterfly lock Christian Robinson here. Take him up onto the shoulder. Ooh, big neck breaker. This could be it. Dispose of all the competitors. Can Norman capitalize cover? Oh, wait a minute. Midget from behind. And Clayton King stealing the pinfall.
Here is your winner, the Monarch, Clayton King.
And Eamon, I mentioned the strategy was all about picking your spot, and for what it's worth, Clayton King with a bit of a master class in that regard, picking the bones of Christian Robinson after Aaron Daniel Norman did the work. But the record book doesn't tell you who did the work. The record book tells you who got the win, and all that matters at the end of this one is Clayton King is your winner.
Clayton King victorious here on the buy-in with a little assist from Mitch. Quite the contest, though. All four competitors gave it their all, but the dastardly ways of leaders by example proving to be effective once again here.
We'll see if Clayton's partner, some guy named John, will be able to also taste victory
One more
tonight.
time for Christian Robinson.
Well, he calls himself a hardcore icon, apparently. He's been throwing his weight around, doing nasty stuff to our colleague Austin Carnes. It's been... I dread the idea of some guy named John becoming hardcore champion.
Multi-person Misconnections tag match. Introducing first.
But I would hope that Casey Ward will get the job done. We will find out later tonight on the main card. But next up, 10-person tag team action. And these guys, I'm glad I'm not in the ring for once.
First, from the CCAC Auxiliary Gym, Deb Swayze, Mickey Morris, Chuck Bachman, and a Big Jim Fridge. They are the Department of Jocks. Coming to the ring, escorted by the Man-Eaters, Centurion Hall. This is Elijah Love.
Well, Elijah Love being let into the frat party here from the Department of Jocks. And now Toddy's going to get a taste of the chug bump.
This is what Thursdays are like for you, isn't it?
I am so thankful to be with you, Paul, for more reasons than one. But the Department of Jocks, full of themselves, arrogance personified, but have had some mixed success here in
Introducing
IndyWrestling.
team number 2.
The question is, can they get a win here on the buy-in? They got tough competitors to face off with, though.
First, the Gigabyte Grizzly Prohemoth. The Lost Primar Johnny fucking Demise. Along with the Princess of IndyWrestling Amanda Maslow. They are Death Watch. Also, the Bearcat Keith Hot. And returning to 880 Wrestling, Jazz Monroe. And lastly, the Adrian Kirsch.
What a unit here. Death Watch and friends, and they've got friends in high places here with the likes of Adrian Kirsch, Chaz Monroe, and Keith Hott, Brohemoth, and Johnny Demise. I think this has been the strongest run so far in the last few months for Death Watch.
We know that Death Watch has been expanding in both formally and informally, Eamon. They've added Lilith Locke to their ranks. A little bit more on that here momentarily, but then also they're building strong associations with people like Adrian Kirsch, who's not formally associated with Death Watch, but has been teaming with them on multiple occasions back on our Thursday night fights shows.
As now Chaz Monroe They're looking to start things off here. The question is who from the DOJ is going to be 6'7", Dev Swayze. You heard that right, folks. One of the tallest individuals in all of the 880 Wrestling roster, and he will let you know it.
Chaz Monroe will start things off here with Dev Swayze. Chaz Monroe has been a staple of our monthly programs as of late.
Absolutely had a very valiant tag team title match recently on Thursday Night Fights, teaming with James Frederick against Psychedelic Dreams, who we will see defending those tag titles later tonight against a returning Moist. That is sure to be an epic encounter. Now Chaz, very technical in that ring. They really know their chops. They are taking advantage here with Dev Swayze. Not going to let the size advantage intimidate them. Now big schoolboy cover, but Dev able to use those long legs to fight free, but Chaz back in with the side headlock. Oh, Chaz having it scouted there by Dev. Ducks under, and now has Dev in a very tricky predicament. Cover, shoulders down. Unable to get full coverage there, down on those shoulders. I think that's a trick of dealing with someone like Dev Swayze. You can't let the height advantage not play a factor. Working down here is Chaz Monroe. We got a great night of action. Like we mentioned, the main event, Casey War, some guy named John for the Hardcore Championship. Nick's Wild, Liberty L, the 880 Championship. Cover now. Only a 1 count there.
Yeah, all kinds of great action tonight for ringside members of our YouTube channel or for members at IndyWrestling.us. You can sign up now if you have not utilized your 7-day free trial. You can take advantage of that. So we have a quick near fall there on Swayze. In comes Mickey Morris for the Jocks.
Mickey Morris, very technical wrestler in that ring. I know was trying to take my job recently as ring announcer. I think he's much better in this realm. It's Adrian Kirsch, flask and all, looking to get down and dirty here on the buy-in. We mentioned the Hardcore title match later tonight. Valiant effort by Adrian Kirsch in that Hardcore Open Challenge with some guy named John recently. I think maybe a career-making moment in many respects for Kirsch. Is now, ooh, that big brute stopping Mickey in his tracks.
Yeah, if not for one errant thumbtack to the foot, it could have been one of the bigger wins of Adrian Kirsch's career.
Now, I'm not a hardcore aficionado by any means. I'm going to think that some guy named John is going to need more than one thumbtack to deal with Casey War later tonight in our main event.
I suspect that will be the case. As Bearcat Keith Hott in the ring here made their return to 880 Thursday on Thursday Night Fights as part of an all-star 10-person tag. And the warehouse crowd here firmly behind Bearcat.
What a battle that was. It devolved into an absolute street fight, absolute chaos here in the warehouse. Chug, maybe a little too many of those red Solo cups or whatever's in them. Going to get outshone here in the cartwheel department. Keith Hott, a real stalwart here at 880 Wrestling. Ooh. And always looking to fight that valiant fight.
Of course, last month at our Kings of the Cold buy-in, we had Keith Hott across from the Department of Jocks, and we had a slam dunk contest. Now we've got a cartwheel contest, apparently.
So rather, it's an Olympic affair here on the Misconnections buy-in. It's Chuck going. You can tell him trying to go dirty there, but Keith able to have it scouted there. The sunset flip and a nasty chop there. Those bear claws of the Bearcat are vicious in that ring. As might be too soon. Ooh! Because a paw print is sure to be on the chest of Chug as now Brohemoth tags in.
Brohemoth comes in, of course, representing Death Watch. I mentioned earlier, Death Watch had recently expanded their ranks with Lilith Locke. Our best goes out to Lilith Locke, currently recovering from a broken collarbone that I understand came at the hands of Aaron Daniel Norman in an off-site event involving a camera So, unfortunately, Lilith Locke will be on the shelf for a bit, so that expansion of Death Watch kind of temporarily on hold. But we hope to see Lilith Locke back in action after that injury heals.
Absolutely. Lilith was very impressive. The question is, I think, though, is how does Death Watch rebound from an unfortunate series of events like that? Ooh, that's a good start. Big headbutt there onto Big Jim Fridge, and now he's going to get hoisted by the big behemoth. The big brohemoth, I should say. Going to come charging in the corner. The Gigabyte Grizzly not letting up. Tag into Johnny Demise. These two, such great synchronicity in that ring. Always in contention, I would say. Oof, for tag team championship ranks.
Yeah, I think, again, Death Watch is a team that has kind of succumbed to the numbers game, which is why they've been looking to expand. Teams like the Department of Jocks, the Dead Hand Society, Leaders by Example. There's been so many of them. And Death Watch kind of figures we need more than 2 people. They've got Princess Amanda on their side now, and who knows who else may join Death Watch later on this year.
Absolutely. Tag into Chaz. Quick tags in from the opposing team as Elijah. Oh, wait. I was going to say Elijah Love getting into this contest, but now so is Centurion Hall, the man-eater. Always a point of annoyance for any competitor dealing with Elijah. Big kick right to the side of the head of Chaz, and only 2. Elijah, though, having a very impressive last few months, especially in this new year of 2026 and this new era of the warehouse. Very egotistical is the Playboy, but tons of athleticism in that ring. And, ooh, big elbow drop.
And Elijah certainly has tried to find a person, group, etc., to kind of latch onto a little bit. Has tried many a tag team partner, and now has a temporary alliance here with the Jocks in this matchup.
Which wouldn't be my first choice from a personal level. Professional wrestling-wise aside, you just got to talk to them a lot. Chug's always doing whatever that is.
Well, Eamon, we're about a month or so away from spring break, so of course, it could be a very interesting time to affiliate yourself with the DOJ.
Referee Scotty Davidson trying to get a hold of this other corner as the Department of Jocks, as they are wont to do, getting in the head of their opponents.
Things really breaking down there. The Jocks love to get in the head of their opponents. They also have a tendency to get in their own head a little bit, too. With some of this stuff, though, Dev tagging in Big Jim Fridge.
And now setting Chaz Monroe on the top turnbuckle. What could Jim have in mind? Ooh! Handspring up. Big Hurricane Rana. Mickey going to come in right from behind. Big senton. Quick maneuvers. Quick tags in. As we see, even as Chug gets in, a tag him to Elijah Love. And now, oh, right to the face of Chaz Monroe. That vicious double stomp cover.
Which one's worse, the Chug bump or the double stomp?
You know, normally we're at eye-to-eye contact. I luckily have not faced it in that other direction. But, oh! Desperation move there by Chaz with the insecurity. Tag into Adrian Kirsch. Gonna catch Elijah there. And those rapid-fire shots. The fists are taped and they're ready to deal out some blows, and a big belly-to-belly suplex there. Cover, hook of the leg. Only 2 there. Kirsch is another one looking for a big win, I would say. Tagging to Keith Hott. Double team offense here. Big back elbows. Ooh, and there's that knee right to the jaw. Cover. Keith rallying the crowd here in the warehouse, who are still filing in for the main card of Misconnections. Off the ropes, the bear cow, oh, but Centurion Hall knew that was going to be danger for Elijah Love, and stopping it. Oh, big backbreaker. Could this be capitalized cover? But Brohemoth not going to let that happen. How do you get a tight cover in a matchup like this when you've got 8 other competitors to deal with, Paul.
Absolutely. You have to be watching in your peripheral. Sometimes it's always nice to kind of see, a wrestler run over and kind of knock one of those opponents off the apron. You have to kind of take them out because anybody at any given time can come in and break up a pinfall attempt.
I do not envy the job of our referee, Scotty Davidson, as Elijah Love coming in with a big clothesline, rocking Keith Hott, who is in the wrong part of town here. I'm not talking about CCAC.
Elijah seems to be meshing pretty well here with the Department of Jocks, to be honest with you, Amy.
I will say, and it is difficult when you haven't teamed with somebody for an extensive period of time. Look at the strength here of Swayze! Big scoop slam! Cover, hook of the leg, only 2. A great show of athleticism and strength there by Dev Swayze. It is not, however, going to appease this audience who cannot stand the Department of Jocks. As we see Chug now in again. Ooh, looking to get a bit of a receipt there on Keith Hott.
Good synergy from the Jocks, keeping this matchup isolated to their corner.
Again, right to the face. Nasty turn of events cover. Again, only 2.
Irish whip reversed by Hott.
Sunset flips over. Can he take Keith? Well, that's the worst of his troubles. Oh! Squashing Chug there. It's out. I hate to say it, but here's the replay.
Now, in terms of comparing that to the Chug bump, where's your mind on that one?
Well, maybe not as sternum breaking necessarily. Tagging to Brohemoth, who is a house of fire right now, looking to save this matchup for his team. Laying out all the competition with those brutal shots.
If it moves, the Gigabyte Grizzly's going to take it out here. Alternating corner splashes.
Not letting up. Ooh. Dev and Elijah dealing with a Brohemoth sandwich. Comes charging. Oh! Elijah able to move out of the way. Oh, but he doesn't move out of that vicious slam cover. Oh, not even a 1 count because the Department of Jocks, like buzzards on top of Brohemoth. Now this is how breaking down. Everyone in the ring at once.
Eamon, I've lost track of who's legal here.
I couldn't tell you. Unfortunately, things are too chaotic right now. Action spilling out onto the floor here at the warehouse. Mickey Morris, Chaz Monroe currently in the ring at the very least.
They were trading strikes in that corner. There was Mickey looking to go outside.
What is he thinking? No way, top turnbuckle! Let's see this again. Mickey Morris putting caution to the wind with that giant splash onto the floor.
And that's a good way to isolate a good chunk of the competition in this match. Though Chaz Monroe's up top now. What are they thinking?
They're wanting to join it on the fun, I think. Department of Jocks celebrating just a little too early.
And see this replay brought to you by Sidekick Media Services. Chaz Monroe takes to the air and takes out the entire opposing team.
Question is, can they take advantage now? Brohemoth eye to eye with Chug. Oh, Chug realizes the danger. Nailing Brohemoth there with the super kick. Jim gonna take advantage. Double team! Signature Department of Jocks there, but keep an eye. Celebrating again a little too early. Series of spears!
Spears in stereo for Demise and Kirsch.
Ooh, Elijah Love there with the love tap. And double drop kick there by Mickey and Elijah. Keep an eye though on the Bearcat.
What a matchup, Eamon.
Back and forth this goes. Chug now, ooh, big Twisting neck breaker. Oh, but keep an eye on Chaz. Quick into the ring, looking to take advantage. Ooh. Right to the gut. Could this be the death nail for Chug? No, Jim is not going to let that happen. Neither is Dev Swayze.
Things breaking down again here.
Whatever you can say about the attitudes of the Department of Jocks, this fraternity of sorts always has the others back. Oh! Until that moment!
That's an all-time backfire.
Right to the face. Brohemoth. Chaz now going to take advantage. Plants them! Spear by demise! And now Dev Swayze, what could this be? Ooh, big rolling forearm shot! And could this be the death nail that Death Watch is looking for? Off the ropes goes Brohemoth. There's the neck breaker! Death Watch and friends get the victory!
Adrian Kirsch and Death Watch.
What a match to close off the buy-in here from Misconnections 4. I'd like to remind everyone that if you want to check out the main card with a stacked line of events as we see how Brohemoth and Giant Demise finished off Department of Jocks here, be sure to go to IndyWrestling.live. If you are a ringside member, go to YouTube. It's Brohemoth now with a microphone.
Allentown, how you doing? Since y'all my people, can I get something on my chest? Ems, can I holler at you?
It's the partner of Brohemoth.
When I said forever, I meant it. Will you become Mrs. Heath?
Well, Paul, it looks like we don't got a misconnection here.
And Eamon, sometimes in wrestling you take a chance, sometimes you miss, but tonight at Misconnections, Brohemoth didn't miss. He found the one connection that matters most, and she said yes.
Big congrats to Brohemoth. That's even bigger than a win. What a beautiful way to end off our buy-in. Folks, go to IndyWrestling.live. Go to YouTube at IndyWrestling.us if you're a ringside member. Check out Misconnections 4 for myself, Eamon Payne, for Paul Michaels. We'll see you on the main card in just a few moments here from 880 Wrestling.
Your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
Will be officially underway, but that's going to be a long